Good morning and welcome back to the center. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. So, Sarah, we're starting today with a topic that, honestly, I think is going to spark quite a debate. It's something that feels both futuristic and incredibly immediate. The question of whether AI should pay taxes.
Oh, that's fascinating, Alex. We've all been seeing the headlines about AI's rapid advancements and, let's be real, the job displacement. So putting a tax on it, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Or is it more complicated than that?
It is, in fact, far more complicated, but the idea, as you say, feels intuitive. Let's unpack it. So, this discussion has really gained momentum recently, especially as major tech companies like Amazon and Meta announce significant workforce reductions, often attributed to automation. The core idea, first proposed by Nobel laureate Edmund Phelps and notably endorsed by Bill Gates years ago, is straightforward. If a robot or an algorithm replaces a human worker, thereby reducing tax revenues from income tax and Social Security contributions, shouldn't that AI or its owner contribute something similar?
Right, because labor taxes are such a fundamental pillar of our public offers, aren't they? So if those contributions shrink because machines are doing the work, society still needs revenue to fund essential services. It almost feels like a necessary step to maintain some sort of economic balance.
Exactly. The argument is that it's not just about job losses, but about the fiscal health of nations. Gates himself suggested applying the same tax burden to robots as would be borne by the workers they replace. Think about that for a second. A robot effectively earning a salary and then contributing a portion of that to the public good.
Wow, that really reframes the conversation, doesn't it? Instead of just talking about job creation or retraining, we're talking about how we fundamentally value and tax labor, whether it's human or artificial. But what's the pushback, Alex? I imagine not everyone is on board with this idea.
Oh, absolutely. The critics argue it could stifle innovation, slow down technological adoption, or even drive AI development offshore. They say taxing the tools of progress is counterproductive. But the thing that caught my attention, Sarah, is the undeniable personal stake here. Fewer people working means fewer taxpayers. This directly impacts our ability to fund everything from healthcare to infrastructure. It's a fundamental question about how we adapt our economic models to a truly automated future.
It really is, isn't it? A massive structural challenge we're just beginning to grapple with. Speaking of the companies driving much of this AI revolution and indeed much of our economy, let's shift our focus to the performance of some of the top tech stocks. Because while we're debating the societal impact of AI, the market is certainly embracing its potential.
I saw a report from MarketBeat this morning highlighting Nvidia, Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, and Apple. It sounds like business as usual for big tech, but are there any particular nuances in their current standing that we should be aware of?
There absolutely are. What's striking is the sheer dominance these names continue to exhibit, even as broader economic conditions feel a little less certain. NVIDIA, for instance, remains a powerhouse, largely fueled by its critical role in AI chip development. Microsoft, with Copilot and its cloud services, continues to show incredibly strong growth.
Right, so it's not just about the legacy strength of these companies, but specifically how they're integrating and capitalizing on AI, isn't it? That's the core driver right now.
Exactly. These aren't just market darlings, they're the infrastructure providers for the next wave of technological evolution. The thing that caught my attention and why this affects your investment portfolio or even just your general sense of economic direction is that this concentration of wealth and innovation within a few giants raises questions. Is this a healthy, diversified growth, or are we putting too many eggs in a few very large, very powerful baskets? It's something to watch closely, especially as we head into a new year.
That's a really important question, Alex, especially given the rapid pace of change. It makes you wonder about the global supply chains these tech giants rely on and the health of the broader economy.
It does, Sarah, and that actually connects quite neatly to our next story. Because while we're talking about economic health, the global air cargo market is giving us some very positive signals.
Oh, I saw a headline about the Middle East specifically.
That's right. The International Air Transport Association, IATA, just released its latest data for October, and global air cargo volumes hit a record high. And the Middle East, they saw a remarkable 5.7% year-on-year increase in demand, with capacity jumping 10%, the strongest expansion globally.
Wow, 10% in capacity. That's significant, especially with all the geopolitical risks we hear about in that region. How are they managing that?
It's fascinating, isn't it? IATA's Director General Willie Walsh noted that this shift in growth pattern shows how air cargo is adapting to the impact of things like U.S. tariffs. What we're seeing is near double-digit expansion on key lanes within Asia, between the Middle East and Europe, and between Europe and Asia. It suggests that global supply chains are incredibly resilient and finding new, efficient routes even amidst challenges.
So it's not just a regional boost, but it's indicative of a broader, more robust global trade picture than perhaps some might expect. That's genuinely encouraging, isn't it?
Exactly. Global goods trade rose 5.3% in September. Industrial production is up, manufacturing sentiment is strengthening. This isn't just about planes flying boxes around, it's a solid indicator of improving industrial activity and overall economic resilience. It tells us that despite the headlines, the gears of global commerce are turning strong.
Right, it's a complex world, but there are always these unexpected signs of strength. Now, speaking of things people are embracing globally, and perhaps a much-needed break from economic data, Sarah, what's catching your eye on Netflix this week?
Oh, Alex, I'm so glad you asked, because with Thanksgiving behind us, it's officially holiday movie season, and Netflix is absolutely delivering. They've got a new original Christmas romantic comedy out, which I think everyone is ready for.
Of course they are. We all need that festive cheer. But is there anything beyond the tinsel and hot chocolate?
Absolutely. Beyond the Christmas movie, they're debuting two other original films. One is the long-awaited sequel to the Norwegian monster movie Troll. I remember the first one was a surprise hit. And then there's a drama that's apparently vying for Oscar Gold, which is always interesting to see land on a streamer first.
That's quite a range. So for listeners looking for something to unwind with or perhaps escape the family if they're still around, there are some solid options. The thing that always strikes me about Netflix's strategy, especially around the holidays, is how they really dial into what people want, whether it's pure escapism or something critically acclaimed. It's smart and, frankly, makes planning your weekend viewing a lot easier.
Right? And they also have new episodes of a real estate reality series and a Western drama premiere. So truly something for everyone to binge. I'll definitely be checking out that Troll sequel.
Speaking of binge watching, Alex, I know one thing a lot of people will be glued to this weekend: college football.
Oh, you know it, Sarah. And for those of you who follow the gridiron, the biggest news this week is straightforward. Ohio State has officially clinched the top spot in the CBS Sports 136 rankings.
Unanimous, wasn't it? That's a pretty strong statement this late in the season.
On unanimous, absolutely. They've been incredibly dominant, playing with a level of consistency and power that's just set them apart.
So what does this mean for the playoffs then? Are they pretty much a lock for the national championship game, or are there still potential upsets looming?
Well, it certainly puts them in an enviable position. Being the unanimous number one gives them a significant advantage heading into the final stretch. Here's why this matters to the fans. It sets the stage for what promises to be an electric postseason. Every snap from here on out carries immense weight. It's the culmination of an entire season's work, and Ohio State is currently at the pinnacle. It's going to be exciting to watch.
It absolutely is. The energy around college football right now is just palpable.
And that's our show for today. We covered that thorny but crucial question of taxing AI, the continued dominance and concentration of big tech stocks, those surprisingly strong global air cargo numbers, and of course, what's new to stream, and who's topping the college football rankings.
A really packed day, Alex. That AI tax discussion in particular will stay with me. It's such a fundamental challenge for the future.
It really is, Sarah, and that's exactly the kind of conversation we want to bring to you here at the Center. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow with more.
See you then.